I'm sure as this has gone on, they've been speaking out with like family and friends and getting more context to maybe what was going on at home. So I think as those things come to the forefront, we'll be able to share more too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now let's get into the new cases because, like I said, it has been a long week, long weekend, and there is so much that we need to talk about. And this first case is wild. And honestly, it's one of those where the more you hear, the more you're kind of like, how does something like this even freaking happen? It's early morning on November 24th in North Adams, Massachusetts. Everyone's asleep, it's quiet, nothing out of the ordinary. But inside the Hazard family home, things were the complete opposite. Police say that 44-year-old Darius Hazard suddenly just turned on his parents, 76-year-old Venture and 83-year-old Donald. No warning, no long buildup that anybody is aware of, just this violent, brutal attack that left both of them on the floor and unable to get up. And then Darius took it to a whole different level. According to prosecutors, after beating his parents, he poured gasoline throughout the first level floor of their home. Then he set it on fire. He also didn't stick around, he didn't call for help, he just bailed, left. Now here's the part that hits the hardest. Venture and Donald were still alive when that fire started. They were awake, they knew what was happening, and they physically could not move because he had beat them so badly. The probable cause affidavit even says that they were yelling things like, quote, come back, quote, help me, help us, we're in trouble. Which that detail right there, it says so much because even in that moment, they were calling out for him, calling out for their son. They were still expecting their son to come back and help them, not realizing that he is the one who started this fire and inflicted this, horrific attack. It wasn't until smoke started pouring out of the house later that morning that anybody outside even realized that something was wrong. So neighbors finally called 911, fire crews went in, and that's when they found Venture and Donald in the living room. The medical examiner later confirmed that they had died from smoke inhalation, not from the beating, meaning that they were burned alive and burned to death. Now, meanwhile, police were already out looking for Darius, and they ended up finding him in a Walmart parking lot after they put out a BOLO alert on him, be on the lookout. And when the officers questioned him, he didn't really hold back. He allegedly just told them that he, quote, snapped. He said that his mom apparently had fallen. He got frustrated while trying to help her, and then it all just spiraled from there. Like he was resentful towards her because she needed his help. I don't really know. He also did admit to having a temper, to yelling and breaking things, but nothing that ever suggested that he had physically hurt his parents before. Which, let's just pause and take a beat for a moment and kind of call it what it is, right? Something definitely does not add up here. People don't go from yelling and breaking stuff to then killing their parents through a savage physical hands-on beating and then burning down the house. Like, that doesn't happen overnight. It seems to me it's more likely something was probably brewing under the surface, whether that was anger, resentment, mental health issues. I mean, something, right? Some sort of catalyst and something that was going on through all of this. And investigators, they clearly felt the same because within a day, the charges jumped from arson to 2 counts of first-degree murder, and he was ordered held without bail. Now, let's talk about the Hazard family for a moment here because they had lived in that house since the early 90s. And neighbors described them as nice, grounded, the type of family that you would wave to while you're outside grabbing your mail or in the front yard or walking the dog. So for this to happen, I mean, not just a crime, but something this violent and this intentional, it completely rocked this community and just shattered this neighborhood. Right now, the case is still open. The investigators say that the fire was absolutely deliberate, and they're working through forensic evidence and waiting on more autopsy details. Darius is due back in court on December 29th, which that's likely where we will start to see what his angle is going to be with his defense and what the angle the whole defense team is going to take.